So you're thinking of moving to the Orlando, Florida area, particularly Clermont, and you want to know the pros and the cons, the good and the bad. Do people actually stay here or do they move back? And why are some people moving back to wherever it is that they came from? Today I'll share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly in living in Clermont, Florida. And I'll also leave for the last part the worst con, which might allow you not to move to the area altogether. Let's get started. My name is Sandy Giff, and my team and I would love to help you make a decision to see if Clermont would be the right choice for you if you want to move to the area. So stick around to the end. We will discuss each detail with you. We have helped so many buyers relocate to the Orlando area, whether it be Clermont, Kissimmee, Davenport, Winter Park, Winter Garden, wherever that location might best suit you. And we have also helped our buyers save over $10,000 in incentives. We've also helped them to gain sellers and builders to help them with their interest rate buy down, help with incentives, help with their closing costs, and none of our buyers have ever paid us a single penny out of their pockets in commission. So if that sounds like you and you want to be able to move into the area and get the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, and decide which location is best for you, we invite you to schedule a Zoom call with us. But anyway, let's get into this. Clermont is nestled in the hills, yes, the hills of Florida, believe it or not. Who knew that Florida had hill? Clermont might be the best elevation when it comes to Florida. It's a super popular area. People love it. Clermont is also a multicultural area. So there's a lot of different cultures in the area. And let's be honest, the lake views. Clermont is in, these are some of the pros, Clermont is in Lake County. And they didn't name it like that just because they wanted to have a name for a lake. The lake views are phenomenal. If you have ever seen the sunrise or the sunset on Lake Mineola, you would know it's to die for. The beautiful sunset and sunrises over the lake is breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. But let's face it, like many areas, it's not just all beautiful rainbow and skies. Okay, so let's get into it. We're gonna deep dive into the good, the bad, and maybe even the slightly ugly sides of living in Clermont, Florida. We're gonna break down the pros, the cons, giving you an honest, non-fluff look of what it's really like living in Clermont, Florida, because moving is a huge decision and you deserve to have all the info before you even think about moving here, right? That is very important. We'll be covering everything from the absolutely stunning natural beauty and outdoor activities like beautiful life on the lake in Clermont, to the cost of living, the job market, the outcome, the ever-present Florida traffic. That's a deal. We'll talk about the community vibe, the schools, and even touch on what it's like being so close to all the world-famous theme parks. Is it a blessing or a curse to be living near the best theme parks there is in the world, right? So whether you're thinking about relocating or you're local, just curious about what's going on in the area, or you're just daydreaming about what it would be like living in Clermont, Florida, stick around to the end of the video. You'll have a much clearer picture of whether Clermont, Florida truly is a place for you. At the very top of the list has got to be the outdoor living, the lakes, the parks, and all the natural beauty that make Clermont what it is. Never to mention the natural hilly terrain, Sugarloaf Mountain, which is the highest point in Clermont. We have got to think about that. All the walking trails, all the cycling trails there is to offer. That is definitely a big deal. The chain of lakes, not just one lake, but the chain of lakes. So you could actually absolutely live on the lake, boating, fishing, jet skiing, whatever you want to do. They even have a rowboat race in Clermont, believe it or not. Like several people row in the boat and they're racing. They just had one yesterday, which was the day before Easter Sunday. It's April 2026 that I'm filming the video. So yeah, they actually have that going on. Okay. The Clermont Change of Lake is a huge draw for water sports enthusiastic people. Fishing and just having fun on the lake, relaxing by the lake. It's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, really. Another massive pro, especially for families in the community vibe and family friendly environment, in Clermont has got to be maintaining a charming small town feel, right? So you still have a charming small town feel. A lot of families getting together, friendly people. There are tons of community events, family market, farmers market in downtown Clermont. Every single Sunday, they block off the road and that's it. Local gatherings that really foster a sense of belonging. The schools here are generally well regarded and there are plenty of parks and recreational programs for kids for all ages. It's the kind of place where neighbors still wave and look out for each other. And let's touch a little bit on the schools. There is public schools, private schools, and charter schools as well. And there's also specialty schools, like if your kids are into sports or technology or iTech or whatever that is, there's a lot of different activities that they can definitely encounter, and the schools are geared towards that. For an example, Montverde Academy, which is a few minutes on the outskirts of Clermont, as a school from kindergarten through high school for sports-oriented children. So whether it be swimming, basketball, soccer, football, tennis, pickleball, whatever it is, they have that geared for children in that particular school. There's also the charter schools that are geared towards science and technology. And then we have the award-winning public schools, which your zone would be based upon if you're in North Clermont, South Clermont, or what I love to call Mid Clermont. Where am I calling Mid Clermont? The area around the Lake Louisa Park. There's a Lake Louisa Park with Lake Louisa Lake. That area I call Mid Clermont. South Clermont is where it's close to the Five Corners area. So that's where Clermont is meeting up with Davenport, Kissimmee, Winter Park, all in that southern area. The southern part of Clermont is also where a lot of homes are zoned for short-term rentals. So you have a lot of Airbnb properties in South Clermont, and it's closer to the theme parks as well. North Clermont is where 27 is meeting 50. So most things are off the 50. 50 runs east to west, and Route 27 runs north to south, right? So North Clermont is closer to the 50 corridor. That's where you're closer to the Florida Turnpike, and you're also closer to Grooveland or going over into Route 75, which is like Wesley Chapel, that kind of area. So 50 leads right back into Highway 75, right? And on the other end, it leads back into Winter Garden and also into Orlando. So if you wanted to do the local route from Clermont into Orlando, you'd probably be on Route 50. If you wanted to do the highway route, you'd probably jump on the Florida Turnpike. So that's the difference between both. And of course, we have to mention that Clermont has very close proximity to the theme parks, right? Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Disney, wherever it is, it has lots of great proximity. All right. So that's the good stuff. But no place is perfect, and Clermont definitely has its challenges. First up, let's be real. The cost of living is rising. So the cost of living in Clermont is absolutely rising. While it might still be more affordable than other areas, driving home prices and interest rates are definitely affecting a lot of areas in the States, I would say, not just Florida, but Clermont is also subject to that as well. And speaking of things going up, let's talk about traffic and infrastructure, right? With all the growth, the roads haven't always been kept in pace, right? So we don't have enough roads for all the traffic going on. So commuting, especially during peak hours, especially on Route 50 to be exact, right, can be a real headache. Major arteries like Highway 50 and 27 can get very congested. And if you're working in Orlando, that commute can eat into a lot of your day. It's definitely something to consider. So two of the cons is the rising prices in Clermont, where we have prices going up, not just in housing, but also in food and transportation, in gas, all that great stuff. That's a consideration. And also 50 during rush hour. There's a particular corridor 50, which is between the Turnpike all the way down to downtown Clermont, like the road leading to downtown Clermont. So that's probably from the Turnpike to the road leading to downtown Clermont is probably on a regular day, maybe a 10 to 15 minute stretch based upon how you do with the traffic lights. There's a lot of traffic lights going down there. But on a congested day, that same 10 to 15 minute drive could take you 35 to 40 minutes just to do that route, just to do that section. Unless you know the back roads and you're able to get off and cut through some back roads to get to downtown Clermont, if you live anywhere along that corridor, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. So that's something to consider. Most major cities and areas do have traffic congestion, but because Route 50 and Route 27 is the major corridor, then you absolutely know that that becomes a problem when you're traveling. Even if you're driving around, even if you're like, oh, I need to run to Publix real quick. By the way, Publix is one of our major supermarkets here in Florida in all our areas. We also have Walmart as well. So Walmart and Publix is the two major supermarkets. So if you're running out to Walmart or to Publix and it's really maybe a 5 or 10 minute drive on a regular non-congested time, and now during congestion, you're going to do the same run, it may actually cost you 20 to 25 minutes doing the same run. So that's something to absolutely consider in considering moving to Clermont. Another potential con, based upon exactly what you're looking for, would be the job market. Most major high-paying job is going to be in Orlando, Florida, in downtown Orlando, right? So Clermont does offer a few high-paying jobs and a few retail-style jobs. Most of the really high-paying jobs are the jobs that, you know, you want to actually get nicely paid for. Is probably going to be somewhere where you're going to have to commute to. It may be Orlando, it may be other surrounding areas for work, which brings us right back to the traffic issue. So if you're commuting, if you have to commute to work, you know, to wherever it is that you're working, you're not working in Clermont, and you're commuting back in, you may want to consider the hours, right? There are people that work different hours. If you're working generally 9 to 5, then you're going to run into problems. But if you're working like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. probably going to get you in that 9 to 5 thing too. But if you're doing like 11 a.m., let's say to 7 p.m., or maybe 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., that may not have a problem. Also, if you have a job that you could work some days at home and you go to the office some days, that might also help you as well. So you got to consider which ones you're willing to work with. And finally, while the proximity to theme parks is a pro for some, it can be a double-edged sword. It means more tourists, more traffic, and sometimes a certain transient feel in some areas. If you're looking for a super quiet, off the beat path local, being so close to the world's biggest tourist attraction might not be ideal for you. And I'm going to break that down. So if you're in South Clermont, that's going to affect you more than if you're in North Clermont. South Clermont is closer to the theme park, so that's where you probably will encounter more tourists, because South Clermont is closer to Davenport and to Kissimmee. And we all know Disney World is in Kissimmee. It's not in Orlando. It's not in Orlando. It's in Kissimmee. Or in Lake Buena Vista, as they like to call it, which is, to me, is part of Kissimmee. But if you're in South Clermont, especially because also South Clermont has more homes that are zoned for short-term rental. So if somebody was renting an Airbnb or from Verb or from Booking.com, they would more likely be renting a home in the South Clermont area. If you're in North Clermont, it probably won't affect you that much because North Clermont is more for more residential living. And I'm going to give you a quick story while we're on this topic. When we first moved to Florida, I relocated from New York to Kissimmee, Florida back in 2012, right? So that's like, I don't know, how much years is that? 14 years, something like that. When we first relocated, because we were coming to theme parks for years before we actually relocated, all we knew were the areas around the theme parks. So when we purchased close to the theme parks. And we found out very quickly that we do not want to be close to the theme park, because when you're coming home at night, like 10, 11, 12 o'clock, a Magic Kingdom just lets out, and Disney Highway goes into 192. And that's all we knew was Route 192 in Kissimmee, right? So Disney Highway goes into Route 192. So all the people coming off of Disney Highway, we have to pass that interconnection that leading from Disney Highway to 192. We have to pass that to get home. If we were coming home late at night, like 10, 11, when Magic Kingdom lets out, that would be a drama. If we're coming home like 9 o'clock when Epcot lets out, that would be another drama. So maybe you don't want to be close to any area that Disney Highway is coming into, or that you're close to any kind of Disney theme park. So North Clermont or Mid Clermont is what I call it, Mid Clermont. Mid Clermont, which is the Lake Louise area, going up to North Clermont may be a better area if you don't want to be close to that tourist congestion. Now, if you work for the theme parks, that might be a plus, because you might want to be able to get close to the theme park and close to, you know, wherever it is that you're getting. So maybe that might be a bad idea. But if you want to stay away from a theme park, you definitely want to stay away from South Clermont, and you want to do mid to North Clermont. So let's go over the pros again. The pros is Clermont is on a nice hilly terrain. We have Sugarloaf Mountain here, which is high. We have that's one of the pros. Another pro is the lakes, the beautiful lakes. There's so many activities on the lake. We do have beach front in the lake. So we have areas of the lake, especially in downtown Clermont, where you have sand, you have the picnic pavilion and all that great stuff. So you could go to the beach on the lake. We have beachfront restaurants where you could just pull up on your boat and they will serve you directly on your boat or on your jet ski. Or you could up off and stay right by the shore where they have sand lot and a lot of beach chairs just for you to enjoy that area. They also have a lot of community activities. They have the main pavilion, which they have all these different events at all the time. We have the Caribbean Fair there. We have the Hispanic Fair. We have Pigs on the Pond, which is a beautiful summer event that they have there sometimes. They have Jazz Festival. So they have all kind of different things at the picnic pavilion. The other pro is Clermont is very multicultural. There's a lot of Caribbean vibe here, a lot of South American vibe. North American vibe is very mixed up. So if you're looking for a multicultural area, that would definitely be a pro. Another pro is there's new constructions coming in. They're bringing in way more businesses. There's Costco, there's BJ's, there's a shopping area, there's a movie theater. There's a lot of different car industries. We have Tesla, Toyota, Kia, Genesis, Chevy. So we have all those dealerships along the 50 corridor, which is pretty cool if if you want to be near that. We're only 35 minutes outside of the downtown Orlando, so that's not, or at least Orlando. We're close to the theme parks based upon where you are in Clermont. So those are all pros. Now, what are the cons? The cons are the traffic congestion, lots of traffic. If you're retired, you're going to have to figure out, because Clermont does offer, there's 2 growing into 4. So we have Esplanade, the 55 plus community, and we have Heritage Hills, which is a 55 plus community. We also have Summit Greens, which is 3. These are all 3 established 55 plus community. Esplanade being the newest of all 3. Heritage Hills being the second newest, and then Summit Green has been here for forever. Summit Green 55 plus community is gated and guarded, and it's on a golf course. It's the only 55 plus community that's built around a golf course. Heritage Hills and Esplanade, they're also 55 plus gated communities, but they're not on a golf course. There's 2 other newer 55 plus communities coming in. There's going to be a second Esplanade that's going to be coming in the border of Clermont and Winter Garden. There's Del Webb, which they're building a 55 plus community in mid Clermont, which is close to Lake Louisa Park. And in Wellness Ridge, which is in mid Clermont again, which there's all these different builders building out over 1,500 different homes. Lennar will be building a 55 plus community also there. So there's a lot of new construction going on, which is going to bring into a lot of traffic, which if they're not going to be putting in more roads and infrastructure will mess with your drive, especially if you're retired and you don't want to go deal with traffic. So if you're retired, the pro is going to be, you're going to need to shop or go on your journey early in the morning or in the afternoons. I would say between 10 a.m. to like 2 or 3 p.m. And then again after maybe 7 p.m. And you probably don't want to be out after 7 p.m. But those would be the time I would travel if I was retired. If you're a commuter and you're commuting to work, I would probably try to get shifts that are not 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 if I could. So I'd probably like to get shifts like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., noon to 8 p.m. maybe. Maybe I'd like to negotiate with my job if I'm able to work home some days and then go to work on other days. If I'm able to get in the office early so I could leave early would be some of the things I would do if I wanted to make it into a pro and not a con. But definitely traffic and infrastructure is a problem. There's also the rising cost of living in Clermont. Right now you could still get a home. I'm pretty sure you could get an older home in the 300s right now. If you're looking for new construction though, in Clermont right now, it's probably going to be hard to get something under 400 unless it's a townhome. So you could still get townhome in the townhomes, brand new construction townhomes in the 300s, 200s, maybe a condo. It is a price point. The price point is kind of going up. And Clermont is so overly built that now they're building on the outskirts of Clermont. Now we have new developments going on in Mineola and in Grooveland, which they are in the northern borderline of Clermont. So they're still building those out. So those are the cons. We're not very close to the airport. We're about 35 to 40 minutes to Orlando International Airport. So if you want to be closer to the airport, if you're a pilot or a flight attendant and you want to be closer, although my son is a pilot and he does live in Mineola and he enjoys it. But if you want to be closer to the airport, then Clermont would not be the choice for you. You'd want to go more closer into Orlando or into Lake Nona. That would be a better choice as far as proximity to the airport. Now, the last con, the worst con, which I left for last, I told you I was going to leave the last one for last, is going to be the brutal heat during the summer months. It gets really hot. And with the heat comes all the thunderstorms. So to me, we get worse conditions in the thunderstorm than in the hurricane, if you ask me, right? We get intense wind and very heavy rain sometimes during the summer months because it's so hot. Lots of thundering, lots of lightning. So if you're used to going to the water park, so you want to go to the lake or you want to go to the pool, that's going to probably restrict you because if there's lightning in the area, you cannot go in the water, right? So that's the worst con, the intense heat. So you got to make up your mind, do I want to be in the heat? Now, to turn that con into a pro, you could probably have a pool at your home, or if you have a pool in the community, you just can't go in the pool if there's lightning and thundering. Can't do that. So maybe you want to make sure you have very cool AC and a lot of good fans in your home to keep it cool down because it gets hot. The good thing, and that's definitely a pro with Clermont and say like New York or New Jersey or any of those areas, is we are designed for the heat. So you won't lose, we're not likely to lose power during the heat. No matter how hot it gets during the summer months, we probably won't lose power. We will lose power because of a hurricane though, that's a fact, or because of intense thunderstorm or a lightning storm, but not because of the heat. Whereas in New York or New Jersey, if it gets too hot, the power goes up. That may not be a problem. So the worst con is the heat. Make sure you're ready for the heat. That's why some people tend to move back. That's the reason behind that, because they're like, oh my God, this is too hot. I can't do it. But if you're able to stay indoors and it gets really, really hot, maybe do your chores early in the morning or late in the evening when the sun is gone down. That may be a great idea. I know for me, I love to swim and I prefer to go to the pool, especially during the summer months. During the summer months, the pool gets so hot. Oh my goodness. So I go to the pool later on in the evening, like 6:30, 7 o'clock when the sun is gone down. It's cooling down. It's not that hot. So the heat is something that you got to think about. But then again, if you move into Florida on a whole, you got to think about if you're going to, the summer heat is brutal. I mean, we do get really hot sometimes. But what I find for me personally, I moved from New York to Florida, is having a pool nearby. When swim in the pool as much as you can, go to the beaches. In Clermont, there's many, many different lakes with beachfront access. In Lake Louisa, there's a huge lake and they have a beachfront access to that lake as well. In downtown Clermont, you have that. In parts of Mineola, from the Mineola Lake, different people have that in different locations. There is sand, but you could also drive out to the beach. The beach is only, the closest beach to us would be about an hour to Cocoa Beach, I would say. I prefer the golf course beaches, so I would be driving to Clearwater or Anna Maria Beach or somewhere over there. Honeymoon. It's a Honeymoon Island Beach, actually, or in Tampa or somewhere there. But you could also go to Daytona Beach. It's not that far away either. New Smyrna Beach is probably about another hour. So you could do New Smyrna, Daytona, or Cocoa Beach, whichever direction you want to go in there. But you could definitely go to the beaches as well. So, is Clermont a great choice for you to live in? I don't know. We just went through the pros and we just went through the cons. So you got to decide, am I with the cons? Am I good with the traffic? Am I good with the heat? Am I good with maybe I have to commute to work because I may not be able to get a high paying job in Clermont? Even though I must say, if you're in the medical field, that would work for you because there is a big hospital, Orlando Health, and Advent Health just built another hospital, and there's a third hospital planned and being in. In addition to that, we have a lot of urgent care and a lot of different medical centers, so that might become a pro, yes. But the con that I cannot control and I can't make it into a pro is the heat of the summer months, the thunderstorms, the lightning, and also the fact that you might have to commute to a higher paying job. Even though there's lots and lots of retail coming into Clermont, there's lots and lots of high-tech companies and technology companies coming in with the growth that's coming. There's a lot of hospitality jobs, a lot of restaurants and hotels that are planned to be in as well. So you could be a manager of one of those stores. Walmart, I know, is planning to open a third location on the intersection. It's really going to be the border of Clermont and Mineola. And I'll tell you more when I do my map. I'm going to do a map video showing you all these different locations so you could see better. But I know Walmart and Sam's is planning to come in as well. So with more companies coming in, there's more jobs coming in. So you might not have to commute based upon when you decide to move to Clermont. But I would say those are the pros and cons. So what I want you to do is go in the comments section and let me know if you're living in the area. Let our viewers know what are some of the pros and cons I may have missed on the video. Also, remember to like our channel. If you like the content, like the channel and subscribe and hit a little notification button so you'll be notified each time we do a new video. Also, if you want to get more information, if you're thinking about moving to Clermont, but you want more details on the pros and the cons, you want to buy a home here, you want to relocate here, reach out to us. You could set up a Zoom consultation with us. The link should be in the description here. You could always call or send us a text as well to set up a Zoom consultation. We also help you if you're moving from, let's say you're moving from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, and you need to sell a home there first before you relocate. We have a whole network of agents that we work with. So we will be able to connect you with a local agent in the area you're moving from. So when you do make that move, you'll be able to sell the property and then come down here and we'll be able to help you to find the best location. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one. And remember, to every pro, there's a con. To every con, there's a pro, right? But there's a lot of pros in Clermont, and there's also those cons with the traffic, the summer heat, and maybe the job. Maybe you may have to do a remote job and not travel, because remote jobs are still in. Even though I know some companies are asking for people to come back, there are still people that are working remotely. If you're a remote worker, that'd be great. Another quick thing before I go, actually, and I get asked this a lot. If you're moving, you're relocating from a different state into Clermont or any other town in Florida, you're going to need to have, and you're still working, you're going to either have to be relocated by your job if you could get they could relocate you to a location here if they have a location here, or you're going to have to get a job here if you are financing and you're looking to qualify for a mortgage to buy a home here. I get this asked a lot. So you got to secure a job here so that when you are applying for the mortgage, you could show a job letter that you already have a job or you have a job offer, so you're able to qualify for the loan. If you're buying cash, it really doesn't matter. If you are retired and you're not going to be working, you don't need a mortgage, it doesn't matter. But if you are still working and you're going to be financing and you need a second mortgage and you need a mortgage here, then you'd need to prove that you're going to have a job when you move down. You also have to prove what that income is going to look like. If you're a remote worker, that's easy to prove because you could work wherever you want. But now the banks are going to want a letter from your employer if you're a remote worker saying that you're truly a remote worker and that you're not required to come in the office at any point in time. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.